רמדנס בגרויות תופולי.
אבל זה לא מהבהב.
זה בסדר, זה לא צריך להבהב. Okay, good evening dear ladies. ברוכות הבאות. We are going to start by, you remember we stopped last lesson because we had a rabbi invited at 11 o'clock, and we stopped just before Yaakov Avinu Magia is coming to Lavan. So we didn't speak about Leah and Rachel. What we are going to do now is just to take this gap and speak about Leah and Rachel, and then we'll start Vayishlach. Because we can't start without knowing nothing about Leah and Rachel and what happened between Yaakov and the two sisters and Lavan. So the last time we stopped, I'm going to start over here. We can see that Yaakov comes from the well. And we can see that he sees Rachel. He sees Rachel, and it's written over there, Vayishak Yaakov leRachel, and he kisses her on her head, on her forehead, which you know that it's not allowed to do. But Yaakov Avinu, and it says over here, Vayisa et kolo vayivach, and he cries. And the question, why does he cry? So first of all, it says in the Midrash, he cries because he came with nothing. You remember I told you that Eliphaz, the son of Esav, took everything, and then a poor man is considered as a dead person. So he took everything. Eliezer, the slave of the servant of Avraham Avinu, came with camels, with riches, with fruits, with cookies, with gold, everything. He came with a lot of things, but he came with prepare the party and you invite everyone to come to your party. But he didn't do that. What he did is, he called everyone. All the people he called them, and he told them, listen very carefully. You saw that 7 years that Yaakov Avinu is with us, the well, we don't have to move the stone from the well, and the water rises up for us from the well. It rises up on its own for us from the well. And for 7 years we didn't have any problem. And it's more than that. There's a blessing in everything that we do while Yaakov is with us. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to take Leah and to marry Leah with Yaakov instead of Rachel. So what I'm going to do, you're going to help me because it's for your own benefit, because we need the well and we need this blessing, because you opened the tube of blessing. I remember that I told you Yaakov came with the two tubes of blessing. One of them was Yud Kei Vav Kei and the other was Adnut. Both names came with Shechina was with him. So he said, it's better for us that Yaakov is going to be with us. We won't let him go out. We're going to leave him in our place. So what did he do? He had two maidservants. One was Bilhah and one was Zilpah. Zilpah was the younger one. So he took Zilpah, for the oldest one, you need to give the maidservant, the older maidservant. And for the younger one, you give her the younger maidservant. But he fooled Yaakov Avinu. He gave Zilpah, which was the younger one, to Leah, in order that he will think that it's truly Leah, that it's truly Rachel. He will think that it was Rachel. So he gave it to her. And then what did he tell the people? He said, listen very carefully. I can't trust you. Maybe you'll tell Yaakov. So each one of you is going to give me something, and by giving me this thing that you're going to give me, I will know that you can't open your mouth. One brought wine, one brought sheep. He made the whole feast from everything that the people gave him. He did not buy anything. He did not take anything. But from the things that he took, from all the people, he made the feast. All of the things he made the feast. And then what happened when they were getting married, the people around were saying, Hileah, and Yaakov Avinu was thinking that they were, singing. They said, Hileah. You know how the Sfaradic, so he thought that they were singing because they wanted to, he can't say then, we didn't tell him that so they were singing Hileah, and he thought that it was a song, so he didn't really recognize her, and he got married. And the next day, כתוב כך, ויהי בבוקר והנה לאה, he wakes up in the morning and he sees Leah in front of him. ויאמר אל לבן, and he says to Lavan, מה זאת עשית לי? What did you do to me? No, חושך. What did you do to me? הלא ברחל אבא. He says, I worked for Rachel for 7 years. Why did you call me? Why did you cheat me and you didn't give me Rachel? And then Lavan says, he answers him and he says, ויאמר לבן, לא יעסקת במקומנו לתת הצעירה לפני הבחירה. It's not a custom in our place to give the younger one before the older one, before the firstborn, before the older one. She's supposed to get married first. And he was, hinting for him that you took the rights of the firstborn, but we do not do that in our place. And it says in the Midrash that Yaakov Avinu told Leah when he woke up, you are Ramait bat Ramai. You cheated me like your father cheats me. You are the daughter of a Ramai, of a con man. You're a con just like your father, he said. And then Leah told him, don't tell me that, because I know that it's allowed to lie because of you, to lie for a mitzvah, she says. Because you wanted the blessings of your father, and you told him, Anochi Esav Bechorcha, you said, Ani Esav Bechorcha. When you came to get the blessings, so he says, I know that for a thing from the mitzvah, and you did that because you did the mitzvah of your mother, because she told you. You remember I told you his mother Rivka said, Alai kelelatcha bni, over me will be all of your curses, my son. You have to go. You remember? She knows that because everything goes. You know how things go when when somebody knows something and you told another person. There's no secret anymore. If you have a secret and you told someone, it's not a secret anymore. I want to tell you that's a new. It's not a secret anymore. So the only secrets you have is with Hashem, because if you told someone your secret, I want to tell you, it's not a secret anymore. You don't know what's going to happen, how life is going to roll, and what will happen with that friend that you told him. So you have to, this is a fact of life. So dear ladies, listen where he tells, and she says, but I did it for a mitzvah for my father. I needed to respect my father. So I did it because of my father. You can't blame me. And then it says in the Mikra, it says that Yaakov Avinu told Lavan that he's going to work another 7 years for Rachel. And he worked another 7 years. And he married Rachel, and it says, Vayar Hashem ki snua Leah. And it says that Hashem saw that Leah is hated. He did. She wasn't really hated by Yaakov. He didn't hate her. He didn't blame her. And you will ask me, so how did he love Rachel after he knew that she was there and she helped con him, deceive him? But Yaakov Avinu said, if she did that in order not to embarrass her sister, she's very holy. Yeah. She's tzadeket. She's a righteous woman. You know, it's very hard when you love someone to give him up for someone else. It's very hard. So think about it. So he says she's so holy. If she did that, she's so holy. So he loved her more even because of her holiness, of her tzadikut. And we can see that Leah was hated. But why was she hated? It says in the Midrash that Leah was akara. She couldn't have children. I told you already why she was akara, why the forefathers were akarim, and why the foremothers were akarot, but they didn't have children. Did I tell you over here?
Yeah.
I don't think I told
you. Hashem wanted them to pray.
Yeah, but it's more than that. I didn't tell you this. Hashem wanted them to pray, but it was more than that. If I'm wiping the board, I would like to show you. Our forefathers and our foremothers couldn't bear children because not only he wanted their prayers, this is one reason, but the second reason is they were the sons of a wicked people. For example, Abraham Avinu was the son of Nahor, and Sarah Imenu was the daughter of Haran. Both of them were wicked people. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not give them children. Why? Because he didn't want the nations to say that they got pregnant and the Jewish nations went out of wicked people. So he made them akarim, that they can't bear children. And then only by miracle, which means only by Hashem, they bore children. Which means the Jewish nation is not from Nahor Beharan. Do you understand? So let's see. So they had Yitzchak. Yitzchak was righteous. He didn't have a problem. Who was Akar? Who couldn't bear children? Rivka. Why was it Rivka? Because she was the daughter of Betuel. She couldn't bear children. Not Yitzchak. He was okay. He was excellent. He was okay, you could bear children, but Rivka couldn't because she was daughter of Betuel. And Betuel and Lavan blessed her that she will have children. So Hashem said, no, those wicked people, the children of Israel won't come from those wicked people. So he made her akara, that she couldn't bear children. And because of that, they prayed, both of them. Yitzchak prayed for Rivka. And then Rivka had a child by a miracle from God. So we can see that they had Yaakov and Esav. Now we know that Yaakov was fruitful. He didn't have a problem. Because when Rachel comes to him and asks she wants him to pray for her, to have children, you will see later. She wants him to pray for her. He says, I don't have a problem. And we are Michutz L'Eretz Yisrael, we are out of the land of Israel. So the prayers are not answered in the same way. So you can see that Yaakov Avinu was fruitful, but then Leah and Rachel, both of them had a problem. Both of them couldn't bear children because they were daughters of Lavan HaRasha, the wicked Lavan. So Hashem made a miracle. Leah couldn't bear children, and then people started saying, well, you see, this is not a righteous woman. That's why she conned Yaakov, she got married to him, and the fact that she can't bear children means that she's not righteous, she's not Hasidah. She's not Hasidah. We know now, so Lashon Hara, they started slandering her. And it says in the Midrash, they slandered her until Yaakov Avinu wanted to get a divorce from her, to give her a get. Ad Kedei Kach. No, Leah. From Leah, she was snua, it's written. She was hated. So what did Hashem do? He was sitting, Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in his seat, and he said to the angels, I'm going to open the womb of Leah so she can bear children. And the angels were so angry. They came to Hashem and said, don't give her children. That's why she's snua, because the angel hated her. He said, no, you know there's a thorn that is going to come out of her. And the thorn is Zimri ben Salu, Nesi Shevet Shimon. Zimri ben Salu is the person that caused that 24,000 children of Israel are going to die from her descendants. This is the one that is going to come. And 24,000 children of Israel are going to die because of that. So they said, no, she doesn't deserve it. And Hashem said, no, I'm not going to judge her for the future deeds of her descendants. I will judge her right now by tshuva that she does now. She's praying to me. She wants a child. And I always answer a person, but at the same moment, like in Ishmael. That's why I told you, remember that when you do tshuva, Hashem, and you really mean it, Hashem forgives you at that time. At that certain point. Because then you'll ask me, but then people repeat their sins. Sometimes they forget and they start repeating their sins. So what happens? Hashem forgave them at the same time. They prayed, they davened, they really truly, because He checks our heart. He knows exactly what we think. So at that moment, she was really she was true. It's not her descendants. So at that time, He forgave her. And He gave her children. And then at the end of you see at the end of that sentence, it's written, Rachel akara. And Rachel is still, she can't bear children. She's still akara, she can't bear children. And the Midrash says, then why didn't the angels speak about Rachel? Because from her descendant is going to be Yoravam ben Navat, and Yoravam is going to be the king of the children of Israel. And he is going to worship idols, and he's going to cause the children of Israel to worship idols. But the Malachim did not say anything, because Leah was davening to Hashem to get pregnant. And Rachel, she davened before Rachel. And then they heard the answer also of Hashem about Leah, that He is going to forgive her. At that time, He's going to give her prayers. He is going to fulfill her prayers at that time. So it wasn't. They shouldn't have said anything at that time. That's why they did not speak about Rachel. And we can see that Leah has children, and then we can see that Rachel asks from Yaakov that she will have children. And Yaakov tells her, Hatachat Elokim Anuchi, he got angry with her, and he says, instead of God, I can't give you children. I don't have a problem. You have. Maybe you should do. She says, daven for me like Abraham, like Yitzchak. He says, you know what? Maybe you should do what Sarah did. Sarah gave her a servant, maid servant, to her husband to get married in order that she will have children. Maybe you should do the same thing. You will take your Sarah, your maid servant, and you give her to me, and then maybe HaKadosh Baruch Hu will listen to your prayers. And that's what she did. She gave Bilhah to Yaakov Avinu. And then she got pregnant. And we can see V'yalda v'nivneta al birkea, which means she took her children as it were her children. And we see after that Reuven, the firstborn, goes, and he says, it's written, Bimek tzirchitim v'imtza dudaim b'sadeh. It was on the time of Shavuot, and he takes the dudaim. It says in the Midrash that dudaim is also called yasmin, but I'll explain to you what dudaim is. Dudaim is a special root which is in the ground, and it looks like a person. It can be a female and a male. And I want to tell you, God forbid, but להבדיל אלפי הבדלות, if you'll see there's a מאמר about שלא נדע יימח שמו של צורר הנאצים, Hitler, it says that he got the same dudaim. You'll see there's a picture also of him with that root that looks like a person, that gave him a person that was looking in the future. And L'tzarei harav, I know that he was Jewish, a Polish Jewish, that gave it to him in order that he will succeed. And it has a special segula, that thing. And that dudaim you get in a special, it's a special place that you get it. And if you tear it from the ground, you die. You can't tear it. You die when you tear it. So what did Reuven do? Because it has a special segula, Reuven tied it to the donkey. He tied it to a donkey, and when the donkey took it out of the ground, the donkey died, and he took the dudaim. He took it in his hand.
I'm sorry, segula for what?
To get pregnant, to succeed.
But if somebody died, when you take out...
So Reuven didn't take it out on his own. He tied the donkey with a rope to it, and he took the donkey. The donkey went backwards in order to take it out of the ground, and he died. and he took the dudaim.
But why Amach Shemo, who somebody gave to...
נתן לו לברכה.
זה היה לברכה?
כן, זו עובדה היסטורית. That's in history. But not now, we won't speak about it. I'm telling you that it's a root that looks like a human being.
Yeah. But of what?
להצלחה, to succeed.
It was about it this week on Discovery Channel that they showed about that doll, that they told them it's buried over there in Kerry, and Imach Shemol, Hitler was carried with him in documentary they show on TV. And what he did, he had a Jewish doctor that he was taking from the woman's Zrain, and now in Spain it's a village of German Nazi people who every one of them they are burned twins. They have 78 twins.
Oh, that's Mengele's.
But we won't talk about it right now. Let's continue.
Mengele's twins.
So he took the dudaim, and it's a special blessing to get pregnant because Leah her pregnancy stopped. So what did Rachel do? Rachel asked from Leah for the dudaim, and that night Yaakov was supposed to come to the tent of Rachel. So she said to Leah, "If you give me the dudaim, I will see that Yaakov Avinu will go to your tent." And what did Leah do? Again, she went outside. She heard the donkey of Yaakov Avinu come back. He made the noise, the donkey. And once he made the noise, she went out and told him that this night he is supposed to come to her tent. And why did Rachel do that? Because she knew from this pregnancy, Leah will bring Yisachar. And Yisachar, he is the building block of the Torah. He is the one that is the building block of the Torah. So she knew that Beruach HaKodesh ben Vuah, by prophecy, that Yisachar is going to be born. And then after that we can see that Leah has children. She has also Zvulun. She has Zvulun, and then she gets pregnant again. And Rashi says, some Midrash say that she didn't get pregnant again, but Dinah was born as a twin because it doesn't say she got pregnant and gave birth. It says V'achar yalda bat, which means she gave birth to a daughter. So the daughter was Dinah, and the story is this: Leah was sitting down with Zilpah and Bilhah. They were all sitting together, and they said to Hashem, they started praying together for Rachel Imenu. Look what kind of love, unconditional love they had between them. They were praying for Rachel Imenu, and they said, God, Leah said, I have already 6 boys, 6 sons. And Bilhah and Zilpah, each one of them have already 2, each one of them, which means together we have 10 sons. I'm pregnant, and if I will have another son, Rachel won't have. It's only 12. I told you how about 12 tribes. Rachel won't. She will be less than a servant considered. So please God. Then Zilpah and Bilhah were praying with her, with Leah. Please God, change the son that I have in my pregnancy now and make it a daughter, and give Rachel sons. And that's what happened. It says in the Midrash that the son that was supposed to be born was a daughter, came as a daughter, and it was Dinah. And the Midrash says that's why Dinah went outside, because she behaved like a boy. That's why she went outside. But then she had a daughter, and Bemet, Rachel Imenu had a son, Yosef. She called him Yosef in order to, Yosef li Hashem od ben, in order that she will have another son. He will add to her another son. Look how they loved each other. It's incredible the way they loved each other.
I have a little question. Why Torah did not mention the wives of the Shvatim?
Oh, why didn't it not mention?
Yeah.
Torah, the tribes, the wives of the tribes, the 12 tribes. Why did they not mention? It did mention when it was important. When it was important, like you see in Yehuda, you can see about his sons and also the wife. It did mention when it's important. The Torah mentions things that are really important. All the other things are in the Torah Sheba'al Peh, the oral Torah.
Is it right? I heard, I don't know if it's right, I wanted to ask you. I heard the wives were twins.
Yes. All the tribes, I wanted to talk about it when we get to Yosef. All the tribes were born with twins. But the only ones that didn't have a twin was Dinah and Yosef. Yosef and Dinah, I'm going to speak about it when we get to Yosef. That's why I didn't want to mention that. All the tribes were born with twins, except for Yosef and Dinah.
What about Benjamin?
No, they didn't marry their own twins. They exchanged twins. Like Benjamin married the twin of Shimon, for example. They changed the twins, Cain.
But
they didn't marry
boys and girls.
Benjamin didn't have
twins. The twins, they were like, the twins were girls.
Did have. The only ones that didn't have, they didn't have twins. Benjamin didn't have. No, Benjamin did have. All the tribes did, except for Yosef and Dinah, because Dinah gave birth to Osnat, and she married Yosef. But we're going to talk about it because I want to go to Parashat Vayishlach. I won't have time. We're going to talk about it when we get to Yosef. So meanwhile, we can see that I'm not going to talk about what happened after that in Parashat Vayetz. I just wanted you to know the story about the two sisters Rachel Leah and Zilpah Bilhah. I'm going to continue and we'll go straight. אני חושבת לפרשת וישלח, otherwise we won't have time for Parashat Vayishlach. We'll start Parashat Vayishlach. I gave you a little bit of knowledge about what happened about the stories about Rachel and Leah and Yaakov. And we're seeing that now Yaakov, after he took all of his children and his wives and all of his property, he took and went and left Lavan. He went without telling Lavan. And we know that Lavan ran after him. And after he reckoned 3 days, Lavan went with his sheep, to cut the wool from his sheep. And then what happened, he recognized after 3 days that Yaakov is not there. He started chasing him. He came to him, he wanted to do bad things to him, but Kadosh Baruch Hu in his dreams told him that he must not do anything bad or tell anything bad to Yaakov Avinu. And then they put together a few stones like Galed, and they make peace between them. I won't speak about it now. We are coming to Parashat Vayishlach. What did Lavan do? They said that they're going to have peace and they're not going to hurt each other. And it's written that Yaakov Avinu was now in this Parashat Vayishlach, which is on this Shabbat, Bezrat Hashem, Sheba Lenu Letova. As we can see that this parasha includes especially the meeting, the preparation for the meeting between Yaakov Avinu and Esav HaRasha, the wicked Esav. Most of the parasha is about it. Then we can see that before he meets Esav, he fights, he wrestles with his angel, with Esav's angel. We're going to talk about it. He wrestles with him and he wins, he conquers it. And then what Esav's angel does, he hurts Yaakov Avinu on his thigh, and because of that we're not allowed to eat Gidan Hashay, it's halacha, because he makes him limp. So what happens? This is a small thing. We're going to talk about it. And then what happens? We can see that Yaakov Avinu has a problem with Dinah, with his daughter Dinah. Dinah goes out. She hears I'll tell you the story in small details. She hears music outside, and what Shechem ben Hamor. Shechem is a city, and Hamor is the head of the city, and Shechem is his son. He's a prince. He sees Dinah. She went outside to see who are the ladies that are playing and dancing. She was curious. She went outside, and once she went outside, he kidnapped her and did what he did with her. And then what happened, that once Yaakov Avinu knew about it, because his father Hamor came to him and he told him, my son Shechem loves your daughter Dinah and he wants to marry her. And so and Yaakov Avinu was very sad that they did what they did with her. So his sons Shimon and Levi told him, I want you to circumcise all of the men in the city. And once you do that, we can get married. Our daughters will be yours and your daughters will be ours. Otherwise, you can't get married to us. And because Shechem because he loved her, all of the city's men was circumcised, and also all the ones that came to visit the city. The ones that went through the gate. And it seems so weird that because he wanted to marry her, everyone had to circumcise themselves. But the reason was because Yaakov was so rich. They wanted to share his riches. So they said, we are going to get married to them, and he will give us from his riches and his blessings. He will sit with us and he will stay with us. So that's why they did what they did. And then on the third day, and you remember, like Avraham Avinu, the third day is the hardest day after circumcise. So it was the hardest day. They were very sick. They felt very bad. Shimon and Levi came in and killed everyone in that city. And the Midrash asks, look, only 2 men killed everyone. And the Midrash asks, why did they tell them to circumcise themselves? Couldn't they kill them without circumcising themselves? So it says in the Midrash, and it's true also for today, that, you know, if a child of Israel, if a Jew will kill a non-Jew, all of the nations will stand up and accuse us and will think what to do with us. What kind of cherem to do on us? It will be on all the newspapers, all the TVs. But if a Jew kills a Jew, or a non-Jew kills a Jew, nobody speaks about it. So they knew that, and that's why they did. They said, we are killing Jews like ourselves. We didn't touch a non-Jew. They are Jews just like us. That was the reason, the Midrash says, that was the reason that they did what they did. And then we can see that Rivka Imenu passes away, and we see that Rachel also, it's part of the parasha, passes away, and we see that Esav and Yaakov departure from each other. And we can see that Yaakov Avinu tells Esav, I'm telling you this because I want to give you details about the meeting. And we can see that Yaakov, once he wants to departure from Esav, he tells him, you see, I have a lot of small little children, I can't go far away, let's part. You'll take your part from our father's Yerusha, from our father's will, and I will take my part from our father's property. So he tells him, he divides the property into 2. One is Eretz Israel and Ma'arat HaMachpelah, and the other one is all of his Gashmi, physical property in this world. So we see that Esav goes to Ishmael, and he tells him, what shall I do? What shall I choose? Tell me what to do, he says. So you remember why he goes to Ishmael. So he goes to Ishmael, and Ishmael tells him, listen, Haknani is inside the land of Israel, and Yaakov thinks that he can conquer the land of Israel. Leave it to him, the land of Israel, Ma'arat HaMachpelah. Anyway, he can't gain anything because the Canaani, all the 7 people are still in the land of Israel. Meanwhile, take all the gold, everything, the sheep, everything your father has, take. Because this is a physical thing in this world. And that's what they did. And they divided between themselves. Yaakov got the land of Israel, which is the Jewish people's Yerusha, Moasha. This is the land of Israel. The land of Israel, Ma'arat HaMachpelah. And now we're going to start Parashat. I gave you just a big view of Parashat Vayishlach. We're going to start Parashat Vayishlach. And it says in Parashat Vayishlach, Kach, Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav. It says, Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav. I'll just write it over here. Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav. And the Midrash is asking, what kind of messengers did he send him? Because he couldn't send other people, real people, to Esav. He was so afraid. He knew that Esav wants to kill him. And I want to tell you, look, where does he send him? El Esav achiv arza seir sde Edom. He sends him, that he's going, he sends the messengers to the land of Seir and the field of Edom. Why did Esav call that land Seir? And why did he call Eretz Seir? And why did he call it Ste Edom? You remember from the other parasha? He said to himself, Esav, the wicked Esav said, I don't want to forget what Yaakov did to me. I don't want to let my anger go free from me. So what shall I do? I'm going to call the land that I'm sitting on Seir. You remember what Rivka did? She took the skin of the goat that had a lot of hair on it and put it on Yaakov. So he said, I'm going to remind myself that Yaakov stole the brachot, the blessings from me, by calling my land Seir, which means the Seirizim that he put on him. And then I'm going to remind myself that he also took the rights of the firstborn, because Edom is the Adashim. Lentil. Okay, he took the. You remember he bought the rights of the firstborn with the lentils, and it was red. So this is Edom. So he called the field Edom to remind himself that he took all the Bechorah from him. The Bechorah, look how he was so wicked. So he named even the land and the field over it, so he won't forget. That's what's written over here. לכן כתוב, וישלח יעקב מלאכים לפניו, אלה סבחיו ארצה שעיר שדה אדום. So let's continue. And the question is, Rashi says, he sent to him, he sent to Esav, he didn't send people, he sent malachim mamash, true angels, malachim mamash. And it means in the Rashi Tevot mamash, real angels. And the mamash stands for, each letter stands, mem is for malachim, angels, the other mem is mitzvot, and the shin shasa, which means angels from the mitzvot that he did. It's written in Masechet Avot, it's written like this, Ha'oseh mitzvah achat koneh lo praklit echad, which means he who fulfills one mitzvah gains one advocate. And how do we do that? I told you that we create angels while we do good things. We create the body of the angel by really doing it, physically doing it, doing the good deed. Like if I put a tzedakah, by taking my hand and putting it in the box of the tzedakah, this is the body of the angel. But we create the soul of the angel by our intentions, by the meaning that we have behind the tzedakah. So we create a full angel. So if we truly mean to do a good thing, we create a whole angel. If we didn't, something is missing. So we did it with our body, we did it physically, but then maybe the soul is not finished, it's not in there. So we need to do the tzedakah or everything good the good deed that we are going to do with a full intention of doing it. Then we have malachim mitzvot shasa around each and every one of us. We can't see it because it's spiritually. We have angels protecting us. And they're always around us. All the time around us. And all those angels are made out of our good deeds. We also have bad angels. It says in them, Ba'azor HaKadosh, that the bad angels of the Jewish people are not full angels. Why? Because even if we do a sin, we always have a small part in our soul that we know it's not good. We're doing something that is bad. You know, that feeling that we're not doing something good, that makes that angel cripple or something is missing in him. Because we have that feeling that something is... We do it tshuva by knowing that we did a small tshuva by knowing. So all of the bad angels are not full. But the good angels, and Bezrat Hashem, I hope they are all full and standing in front of us. And they are like fire protecting us. Amen. So, Amen Ken Yeh Ratzon. And it says in the Zohar HaKadosh that those two angels, it's not only the angels, but those are the two angels, the good angel and the bad angel, that we have around us. One we have on the right side and one on the left side. And the question, how come the bad angel will go and help us? Why would he help Yaakov? We know that the bad angel, the Yetzer Hara, we know the Samech Mem that is on our left side wants her to do bad things and not to fulfill the Torah. So how come he will help Yaakov Avinu? And I told you that Yaakov Avinu, when he came when he passed the river, in order to go to the other side, he forgot a few things over there, and he passed again to the other side of the river after all of his wives and all his property, children and grandchildren, everything passed the river to the other side. So he went back because it says in the Midrash that he forgot vessels of oil over there. And it's very weird that a tzaddik will go only for will harm himself, will go at night for vessels of oil. A few, Rashi Omer pachim ktanim, kama pachim shayu sham. But he knew, you remember the vessel that he used in order when he went to sleep and dreamed the dream. He had the dream of the sulam, of the ladder. You remember it? So when he had the dream of the ladder, it says in the Midrash after that, he took and he saw that this is a holy place which the temple was going to be built on it. So he took the vessel, he saw a vessel over there, and there was shemen inside, there was oil inside, and he put it on the matzeva, on the stone that he put over there. So those were the vessels, and he saw that this vessel was very special because it was filling itself on its own. This was the oil that they're going to put on all the Kohanim, Aaron HaKohen and his children, Mishkan, the tools of the Mishkan, everything. This was a special oil That's why he had to bring back the vessels. And when he went to the other side, he was wrestling with whom? The Zohar HaKadosh says, with Malach HaMavet. It was the angel Yetzer Hara, which is called the Samech Mem. It's the Samech Mem, the angel of Esav. He was wrestling with him. And why? Because there was a fight between the angels up there, the Sarim, the ministers of Esav and the minister of the children of Israel. And they were fighting over here, and Yaakov Avinu won the fight. And now it says like this, the two angels, Yetzer Hara Yetzer Hara, were the angels that went. Vayishlach Yaakov malachim befanav. The Zohar HaKadosh says those two angels, the good angel and the bad angel. And the Midrash asks, I have to tell you something. You know that when we are born with a bad angel. Immediately when we are born. But only on the age, for girls, on the age of 12, they get the good angel. כשאנחנו מגיעות, we come to mitzvot, the age of mitzvot, and the boys at the age of 13, the good angel joins them. But until then, only the bad angel is around the children. And we are the one that help them. And I have to tell you that we can see, we know that it's written in Tehillim, Sofer Rasha LaTzadik u'mvakesh la'amito, Hashem lo yazbenu beyado. Which means the wicked one watches for the righteous and seeks to kill them, but Hashem will not forsake him to his hand. And this is from Tehillim. So the question is, what do we do? The Baal Shem Tov, Zchutot Hagen Elul, says two things about it. A Baal Shem Tov says this. It says in the Masechet Avot, Zeu Gibor HaKovesh et Yitzro. Who is the mighty one? He who conquers his evil spirit, his bad spirit. So the question is, the Midrash says, what does it mean, Ezeu Gibor? Ezeu Gibor. Ezeu Gibor HaKovesh et Yitzro. And the question is, what does it mean, Ezeu Gibor? Is there more than one hero? One mighty one? Why is there a question? So the answer is yes. Baal Shem Tov says there are two ways to conquer your evil spirit. One way is when the bad spirit tells you to do a bad thing, or not to keep Shabbat, or to eat something that is not kosher. You tell that bad spirit, please go away from me, I don't want to listen to you, and that's it. And you do the right thing. This is one way, which means you move the bad spirit from you and you don't listen to it. But then what does the bad spirit do? She says, okay, lo halach li achshav. I didn't have, it wasn't a good time for me to speak with him. But don't worry, my time will come and I'll speak to him. It's not the right time. I went away now, but then I'll come back at the right time. And then I'll make him do what I want him to do. But then the other way is to conquer it. How to conquer it? Which means I will make this energy to this, when you, for example, when you are angry, we are angry, we have this energy inside us. If we'll take this energy of anger, and make it energy of good things, of happiness, of exactly the opposite thing. Use this energy and conquer it to do a positive thing. If we'll take this energy and conquer it and make it part of us in order to do a good thing, which means we are teaching ourselves to do that. We conquer our evil spirit. Once we do that, this is the mighty one. This is the hero one. This is the way that we truly making a tikkun for ourselves. This is the fixing that we do for ourselves. Because we came to this world in order to do the fixing. How do we do the fixing? We fix our measures, our midot, our characters. How do we do that? We recognize our faults, and then we take those faults and make it positive. Instead of negative, we make it positive. That way we can conquer our evil spirit. And this is what the Baal Shem Tov says. This is how we conquer our spirit. So Yaakov Avinu had the zchut to do that. Because he won. He won when he wrestled with that angel, he won. So he had the zchut to do that. What did the angel tell him after they were wrestling, and then he saw that it's almost morning? He told him, please let me go. The angel told him. And he said, why do you want to go? He said, the Midrash says, I need to say shira, I need to say a song, blessing, a prayer in front of Hashem. And when does the Yetzer Hara say a prayer in front of Hashem, the Samech Mem? When does he say a prayer in front of Hashem? The only time that he does, when he did his deed, he did what he needed to do. He tried to make Yaakov Avinu do bad things. He couldn't do that. He did his best to make him do bad things. He couldn't do that, and Yaakov won the wrestling, the fight. He won it, and that's the only time when he can say Shira Lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Yaakov Avinu had zchut. He had the merit to do that. So then what does the angel tell him? The angel tells him, he says, Barcheni. He says, I want you to bless me. What did he mean, Yaakov Avinu, when he said bless me? He meant, I want you to confirm the blessings that I got from Yitzchak, from my father, that what you think that was supposed to go to Esav, that were truly supposed to come to me. I want you to confirm them. He says, Barcheni, I won't let you go until you confirm the blessings. You remember I told you every Motzei Shabbat, the bad angel is with us from the beginning of Shabbat until the end, because he has to confirm at Motzei Shabbat the blessings. He has to confirm them, and then he goes back. So he wanted him to confirm it. And then the angel tells him, you know, your name is going to be now Israel. The bad angel did not want him to have the name Yaakov. You remember that HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed also Avram. He says, instead of Avram, without a hey, now your name is going to be Avraham, and we're not allowed to call him Avram. Only Avraham. Because Avram is Aram, and Avraham is a holy name now. You remember? We're allowed to call him Avraham. So look what he wanted to do. The bad angel said, listen, God is going to call you Israel. And he wanted to take off the name Yaakov. And then, you know, God really told him, your name is Yaakov, but it is also Israel. You have two names. We're going to speak about it. So we are looking at Yaakov, and we are looking at Israel. Let's do the numerical value of each one of them. Yud is 10, Shin is 300, Resh is 200, Aleph is 1, and Lamed is 30. Together it's 5, 41. And then Yaakov, we had Yud 10, Ayin is 70, Kuf is 100, Bet is 2. How much is it? 182. What is the difference between 451 and 182? It's 300. 359. Really? 359. No. It's 359. You know what is 359? 359? Satan. It's Satan. It's the Samech Mem. It's the bad angel. Yesterday. Listen very carefully. It's the Samech Mem. That's the angel. What did the angel want to do? Listen very carefully. If the children of Israel is called only Israel, they can't conquer their bad spirit. But if they have the name Yaakov, and you add to the name Yaakov, they conquer the spirit. Who is the mighty one? He who conquers his evil spirit. If Yaakov conquers his evil spirit, Yaakov plus Samech Mem, if you take Yaakov plus 359, you take it equals 541. The name Israel. The name Israel is a spiritual name. It's a high level of spiritual name. The name Yaakov is the heel. It's the lowest, it's a lower name. It's a name of Ekev, Mirma. That's the name of Yaakov. Like cunning and cheating, this is Yaakov. It's when we still have the Yetzer Hara with us. Then we are Yaakov. And we are called Israel when we do tshuva and we go up in the level of Torah in a high spiritual level. So this year, Israel, and you know why Hashem wanted both of the names? I'm telling you now from the Zohar Kadosh. It's written over there. When Israel does tshuva, when they do tshuva, when the children of Israel do tshuva, then we are called Israel. Kadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem forgives us. But what happens when we don't do tshuva and we are called Yaakov? We are Bnei Yaakov. We are not called the children of Israel. What happens? How does Hashem help us? How does He forgive us? Otherwise, we'll have a problem. So Hashem, what does He do? He says, I'm going to look at my children and at the mitzvah that they do and compare them to the non-Jewish people. And because of that, once He compares us to the non-Jewish people, He says, They believe in me. Even, even a Jew that doesn't know anything, you'll find a few mitzvot that he does do. Things that it's inside him that he does do. So you can see that by the merit of Yaakov, you also have forgiveness from Hashem. So Samech Mem, the bad angel, did not want Yaakov Avinu to have the name Yaakov, because he knew that if you combine Yaakov and the conquering of the bad spirit, you get the name of Israel. You get to a very high level. And then what will happen? And then he won't have any power, because Esav won't have any power. We will be greater than Esav. And that's what's going to be באחרית הימים, במשיח, בזמנו של משיח, יגיע משיח צדקנו במהרה בימינו, amen. That's what's going to be, but it's more than that. If we will take, in the days of Mashiach, you know that most of the time in the Mikra, you'll see that Yaakov Avinu is written without a Vav. It's Yaakov like this. But you'll see that when Mashiach comes, it says that Esav has the Vav. God is going to take the Vav from Esav and put it back where it's supposed to be, to Yaakov. And if you'll add 182 with the 6, because this is Vav, we have 188. If we'll take Yaakov and we'll take Israel, 541, and we'll add them together, it's 700 and
I'm not even trying.
729. You remember that God has 42 names, Mem Bet Shemot, 42 names. We say each one of them every day, and we say at night also. Anna bekoach gdulat eminecha tatir tzura, kabel rinat amechased benu ta'ananu nais. For the second day, the third day, na gibor dosher otra kevarat shemreim. The fourth day, v'chem tarem achmitz tzedketecha tamid gamlem, which means we have for each one of the days we have the name of Hashem. And if you'll take the first letters of each sentence, you'll see we have only 6 letters. If you take only the first letter of each sentence, we have 6 letters, and then you multiply by 7 days, you have 42 names of Hashem. And now this is against Yaakov. When you add Yaakov Avinu and Israel, both of the names, it goes against Kra Satan. Kra Satan. We save ourselves from the Samech Mem, and this is the name of God for the second day, Kra Satan. You'll see Kuf is 100, Reish is 200, Ayin is 70, Shin is 300, Tet is 9, and then Nun is 50. So this is 359, and if you add this, we have 370 together. It's 729. It's Kra Satan. So it's so powerful. The name of Yaakov combined with the name of Israel, which means that we are going to win the Samech Mem. If we win with a fight with the Samech Mem, we are going, that's Achrit HaYamim. It's finished. Esav cannot rule us anymore. Now we are ruled by the children of Esav. This is Galut Edom. We are in the exile of Edom, this is the exile of Esav. This is Edom. You remember I told you Eretz Seir Sde Edom. This is the exile of Esav. And now once we conquer it by combining Yaakov and Israel, and what is the Vav? Vav is Vav Avidui, that we confess. This is Vav Avidui, the Vav of confession. We confess for our sins and we look at Hashem and we say, Hashem, please come and help us. This is Vav Avidui. And in order to help ourselves, you remember at the end of each lesson, I always tell you, you must always say goodbye to a friend with a dvar halacha, with a sentence of halacha. And I always tell you, Achid berabim halacha kerabim. I'll write it over here. I need the sentence. We say Yachid verabim halacha kerabim. Okay, so if you take the first letters, we have the name. We have the first letters is the name that protects us on the way. That's a special angel. Those first letters combined for the angel Yohach, That's a name, a special name to protect you when you go back home. It's a special name. How do we know that? In Tehillim, chapter 145, it's written, Shomer Hashem et kol oavav, ve'et kol harashaim yashmid. God is going to protect all of His loved ones, His righteous ones, and then all of the bad people, the wicked people, He's going to destroy. And look at the sentence. Can I wipe it? I'll write it over here. So this is from Tehillim. You see over here, it says, Shomer Hashem et kol ha'avav et kol harashaim yashmid. And it says, okay, and if you look at kol harashaim yashmid, look at the first letters. We have Vav, Hey, Yud,
the Kaf, Kol.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So you can see over here, this is the name, the same name that protects you on the way. From here you know that this is the name that protects you when you go out of the house. You see, Ve'et kol harashaim yashmid. Those are the first letters of each. The first letters of each word in that sentence. This is chapter 145. The Tehillim. Did you understand? Okay. So from here you know Ve'et kol harashaim yashmid. Ve'et kol harashaim yashmid. You know from here that this name is a name of protection. Do you understand this? Because Hashem, it starts with Shomer Hashem et kol ha'avav. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem keeps us, keeps all His loved ones, all His righteous ones, with this name. Ve'et kol harashaim yashmid, with a name that starts with the letters that starts each one of those.
Where is this tefillah? I don't know.
145. It is Kuf Mem Hey.
145.
Kuf Mem Hey, 145. Here, wrote it. 145. So you have it over there, and then you have it also in Tehillim, Ki malacha b'yatzaveh lach. זה כן, זה גם כן, תסתכלו, look over here. And you know why זה 145, כן. It's written, כי מלאכיו יצווה לך. So it means that He sends angels to protect you. How do we know that? The last letters of each word is the same name. You see it? The last letters of each name is the same name. It's your heart. Look. Yud, Vav, Hey, Chaf. Ki malachav yetzaveh lach. Which means this name protects us from the Samech Mem when we go out. It's the name of Shmirat HaDerech.
Absolutely.
And we learn this from this parasha. And I would like to tell you, dear women, you will. You can look at it also by internet. But you will see, little by little you'll know. And your soul knows everything. You think you don't know, but your soul does. Definitely. She remembers also everything.
שמעתי לא מזמן, בן אדם אומר, אם בן אדם היה מבמר והופק לעצמה שהוא מקלל, מזמן היו נגמרים כל
זה מה שאמרתי בשיר הקודם. אמרתי, באותה עוצמה של אנרגיה, בן אדם היה, באנרגיה אותה עוצמה, זאת מאחרון אף. באותו כעס, אותה עוצמה, מזמן הגיע משיח. לא הייתה שום סיבה שלנו.
גם כשמברכים צריך להיזכר ולעשות כאילו כועסים ולמצוא את האנרגיה.
זה נקרא לכבוש, זהו דיבור הכבוש הקיצור. You know, I just heard something that we said last lesson, and I'm going to repeat it because it's beautiful. It's really connected. Because we just said, we just asked, זהו גיבר או כבשת כעסו? את יצרו, סליחה, כעסו. No, I meant really anger. But listen, a woman over here said something. You remember last lesson we said that if we will bless with the same energy that we are angry, the same energy of anger, if we'll bless each other with that same energy, Mashiach will come here. Because then we'll have unconditional love. We will teach ourselves how to have unconditional love. And that's true. You have to teach yourself. You know how do you teach yourself? You know, you have to remind yourself.
God bless you. You know,
exactly. Or when your children fight, it's true. When your children fight between each other, or they are angry and they shout, tell them, bless them, instead of coming and shouting, bless them.
But that's what we do. We say, שתהיה בריא, אתה משגע אותי.
Bless them and say, I hope, bless them that their anger, that energy that they took out in their anger will go towards studying Torah or doing a mitzvah. That's what you should bless them.
Yeah, that should be the separate shiur.
That's what you should bless them. And let's continue.
Their head, one for the other.
You know, at the end of Parashat, you know, at the end of Parashat Vayishlach, it's written. I'll open it. Let's continue because שאני אוכל להספיק כמה שאפשר מתוך זה. At the end of פרשת ויצא, מה?
אל תשכחי על היהלום היום.
אתה רוצה שנספר את זה? אז אני צריך לדלג על כמה דברים.
זה סיפור חובה.
איזה יהלום?
אז אני אספר. אוקיי.
אנחנו אתמול התפוצצנו כל הבנות חבל.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to tell you. אז אני אדלג על כמה דברים, כי אחרת אני לא אספיק. It says, אני לא אספיק כי...
העיקר תסיימים בככה וחיוך, יהיה להם טוב, תלכו הביתה מרוצות.
Dear women, let's continue. I wanted to tell you a few things, but let's see. You know that Yaakov Avinu, I could have given you a few more midrashim about what kind of angels came, Yaakov Avinu sent. But instead of that, otherwise we won't finish today. I'm going to, Bli Neder, we have, Bli Neder, Shana Haba, we'll have plenty of time of speaking about it. Otherwise we won't finish today. But I have to tell you another thing. It says, Yaakov Avinu sends a message towards Esav, and he says to Esav with the messengers, he says, Im Lavan garti ve'achar adeta, which means I have lived with Lavan and have lingered until now. And and look, Im Lavan garti, what did he want to tell him? Im Lavan garti, he says, look, garti is exactly the letters of Taryag mitzvot. I lived with Lavan. I lived with Lavan, but still I kept Taryag mitzvot, 630 mitzvot. Even though I lived with this wicked person, which means he conned me. You know, he's a wicked person. He was a big mechashef, a big wizard. He was a big wizard, a real big wizard. And not only that, he was a con man, and he was a wicked person. And even though I lived 20 years with him, I kept the Taryag mitzvot, 613 mitzvot. And more than that, you see what kind of property I went out with, and with the children, and with the wives that I came out of, grandchildren, everything that I got, which means be careful. He gives him a hint to be careful from him. And then it says, and then the Malachim came back to him, and they say, Banu el achicha el Esav, v'gam malach lekratcha ve'arba'mot ish shimo. They say, you know, we went to your brother Esav, and there are 400 people waiting, are standing over there for him. Yalkut Shimoni says about it, not only 400 people, there were more than 400 people. Yalkut Shimoni says, take imo, it says like this, it says, Resh Lakish omer, imo ke imo, which means, he says, the Resh Lakish, that imo is, like he has 400 people, each one of them has also 400 people. And look how many people he came. It means that Esav came with 400 people that were under him, but each one of them also had 400. You multiply it by 400, it means 160,000 people. 100. He came in order to fight Yaakov Avinu. And the Midrash says, Esav knew that Yaakov is Ish Tam Noshev Ohalim. He's the one that studies Torah. He doesn't know how to fight. He never fought him physically. He's smart, but he doesn't know how to fight. So the Midrash says, how come he brought so many people? And then it says, Esav, you know, they were more spiritual than we are today. And what happened is Esav knew that in Tehillim, chapter Tzadik Aleph, on chapter 91 it's written, Yipol mitzitcha elef u'vava miminecha elecha lo yigash, which means 1,000 may fall victim at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but to you it shall not approach. Which means every person, every Jewish person in those days can win a fight with 10,000 people. So how many people did Yaakov have? Yaakov had himself, Yaakov was one, and then he had 4 wives, Neshotav. Neshotav were 4, he had plus 4 wives, you remember? Rachel, Leah, Bilhah, and Zilpah. And then he had 11 children. 11 children he had. So the children, if you take all of them, it's 16. Still 16 multiplied by 10,000. It's exactly. He knew that.
But why 11 and not 12?
Because Benjamin was not born. You know, that great question. Why were there only 11 sons? You will tell me, but he had 11 sons and 1 daughter. First of all, why 11 and not 12? Women, let's concentrate. Otherwise I won't have time to give you. So the question is, why didn't he have 12 children? Where is Benjamin? But Benjamin wasn't born yet. He was born in the land of Israel. He wasn't born yet. Eretz Canaan he was born. So he wasn't there. But then you can ask me, where was Dinah? Where was she? Because he had also a daughter, so it should be 12. But Dinah wasn't there. Yaakov hid her in a box, in a teiva, in order that Esav HaRasha won't put his eyes on her and want to get married to her. And Ken, that's why she wasn't there. So he had 11, and you can see those are 16 together, each one against 10,000 people of Esav. Esav knew that there will be only one problem. So what does Yaakov say? Yaakov says, Atzileni na miyad achi miyad Esav. He says, please, save me Hashem. I'll write it over here.
Yes, אבל מלאכים הרביצו אותם, שהוא שלח מלאכים, נכון?
מלאכים דיברו איתו, אבל I'll explain. What happened with those 160,000 people? It says in the Midrash, once they saw Yaakov Avinu, they saw the Shekhinah on him, all of them ran away. Esav was the only one that stayed over there.
But Midrash מדבר שהוא אמר, למה שלחת כל כך הרבה? הם הרביצו אותנו, הם...
Yeah, but they were still, once they saw Yaakov, then it was finished. They saw Yaakov and all of the angels were around him, and all of his wives and property, they weren't there anymore. Now listen very carefully. It says, Atzileni na miyad achi hatzileni. Na miyad achi miyad Esav.
תציל אותם אלה שהקרובים עליי.
מיד Esav.
זה אדמה או עץ? אדמה, נכון?
אדמה?
The Midrash asks, why does Yaakov Avinu use a double expression?
The bush.
Save me from my brother.
It's a bush. Sorry.
It says, why does he use double expression? Which means, save me from my brother, from Esav. Doesn't Hashem know that his brother is Esav? Or it's enough for him to say, save me from Esav, or save me from my brother. But this is to teach us a lesson. Yaakov Avinu says, God, please save me from my brother, from the ones who make themselves like they are my brothers and they love me. They show themselves in front of me and behind my back. They take the knife and they just do this to me in my back. Save me from the ones that I think that they love me and they truly do not love me. And then from Esav, which means the enemies that show me that they are my enemies. And then Rabbi Dov Soloveitchik, Zchutot Hagen Elenu, says on that miyad achi, it means all the people that try to make me go out from the right way, from Hashem's way, in a nice way. That this is a danger for my soul and neshama. And the ones that are coming in front of me as enemies are the danger for my body. So save me from those who come nicely to me, speak nicely to me, and tell me, listen, do this and do that in a nice and polite way, and try to take me out from the right way. And then save me from the ones who wants to kill me, who I know that they want to kill me. Save me in both places. And you see, and the continuation of the sentence is, Ki yareh anochi oto. I'm afraid of him. And the question is, why does Yaakov say, I'm afraid of him? Esav has the Malachim come to him and tell him he has each one of the 400 people that are with Esav have 400 underneath them. So why didn't he save me from all of the people that Esav has with him? But he says, no, only save me from Esav, and not from all the people because as I told you before, Yaakov knew that they can defeat all the 160,000 people, and then Esav stays alone. And the problem is that Yaakov Avinu was so righteous and so anav and so modest. He said, God, Esav has 2 mitzvot, 2 good things that he did in his life. One is kabed et avicha v'et imecha. He respected his father in a way that nobody did. And then the second one, he was in the land of Israel without going out of it. And that's a big schut, 2 mitzvot. Yaakov Avinu did a lot of mitzvot. And just think the value of living in the land of Israel and just walking on the land of Israel. Listen very carefully, those 2 mitzvot. So he was afraid, Yaakov, and he says, Katonti mikol chasadim, he says, because you made so many miracles for me, so you used all the good deeds that I did. You used them by making miracles for me. I don't know if I have enough miracles to help me overcome, to help me win Esav HaRasha, the wicked Esav. I don't know what to do, he says. I used them. And it says, the Midrash says something very nice about it. Please bear with me, because then we won't have time. Please listen very carefully. It says katonti mikol chasadim, which means I don't know if I have enough chasadim, good deeds, merits to that you can help me with that to win Esav. So the Gemara, there's something beautiful that says about the Gaon Mevilna, Zchutot Hagen Aleinu. It says that his Hasidim they asked him, his Talmidim asked him, tell us, you are so righteous. Isn't that too much? The way that you are so righteous. They told him, in the Gemara b'Masechet Sotah it's written, Talmid Chacham tzarich shiye bo echad mishmona b'shminit. And Rashi says that a Talmid Chacham, a scholar, Talmid Chacham needs to have an eighth of pride in order to be a Talmid Chacham. So nobody can laugh at him, and he will go back from his ways. So Gaon Vilna says, no, this is not what the Gemara means. תסתכלו, אחד משמונה בשמינית. It says that Gemara means, the Gemara, אחד משמונה בשמינית, משמונה בשמינית, אחד. It says the Gemara, when it says that about the Talmid Chacham, it says, why does he use Shmona in Hebrew is Zachar, is a male. Shmona, when you use the Shmona, yes Shmone v'yesh Shmona. Shmona, it's a you count males by Shmona, and Shminit is Nekeva. So Gaon Vilna tells them it didn't mean it's not a value of numbers. How much a Talmid Chacham needs to have pride. It's a value of where we need to learn how to be modest. And where do we learn that? מהפרק השמיני, פסוק השמיני, בפרשה השמינית, which means from the pasuk, from the 8th sentence in the 8th parasha, in the 8th portion of the week. Wow. The 8th parasha is Parashat Vayishlach. והפסוק השמיני זה פרשת קטונתי מכל חסדים, קטונתי מכל חסדים. That's what it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. Okay, I'll explain it again. The Gaon Mevilna says, I'll explain it. The Gaon Mevilna says about it, he says it's not a numerical value, echad mishminit, an eighth of an eighth. The Talmid Chacham needs to have an eighth of a pride. No, it's not a numerical value. It's how much the Talmid Chacham needs to have from studying from Yaakov Avinu. Because Shmona, when we count in Hebrew we have a male and female way of expression. So also when we count, we have Achat, Shtayim, Shalosh, it's for female, and Achat, Shnayim, Shlosha, Arba'a, Chamisha is for male. So Shmona in Hebrew is a male counting, a way of counting. And Shminit is a female way of counting. So he says, so why did the Gemara give it a female and a male? Why did he put one next to each other? He says, because it's not the numerical value. They gave us a hint where to learn how to have modesty as a Talmid Chacham. Where do we learn that? From the Pasuk, the 8th sentence, Pasuk Hashmini, in the 8th portion of the week. The 8th portion, if you count from Bereshit, the 8th one is Vayishlach, this parasha. And if you start from this parasha, you will count. The 8th sentence is Katonti Mikol Chasadim. Is in Yaakov Avinu, which is so righteous. Says, I don't know God. He doesn't have the bitachon.
I did enough.
He doesn't have, I did enough. I'm already righteous. I don't need to do anything else. No, he's afraid of Hashem. He says, I don't know how you value my good deeds and how you value the good deeds of Esav, the 2 mitzvot that he kept. I don't know how you value it. So I have questions. A righteous person doesn't think that he's righteous. If you see a person that says, I'm a righteous person, it's not a righteous person. It's like a person that tells you, I will tell you the truth. You know that there's no truth over there. Because if he's telling the truth, he shouldn't say, I will tell you the truth. Now, again, we're coming back to the parasha. So, we are continuing with the parasha. And again, I'm coming to the question. I told you that I told you that Esav knew that each Jewish person can win and overcome 10,000 non-Jewish people. So we said that Esav knew that from Tehillim, he knew by Tehillim that each Jewish person can conquer and overcome 10,000 non-Jewish people. So by knowing this, again the question was, by knowing this, again the question comes back to what happened to Yaakov. Why was he so afraid? It says, and it says, Yaakov Avinu, it says about Yaakov Avinu, Vayar Yaakov meod, vayatzer lo ve'echatz etam. He was afraid, because I told him, he said, I'm afraid of him, of Esav. And the question was why. So there's a double expression, Vayar vayetzer lo. And Rashi asks, why does he say that twice? So it says Vayar, which means he was afraid, and Vayetzer, he was desperate. In the same sentence. And it says in the Midrash, he was Vayar, he was afraid because he was afraid of Esav. And then Vayetzer was desperate because he was ashamed that he was afraid of Esav. And then another Pirush, another thing was that Vayar, he saw that they can be killed. He was afraid that they will be killed. But then Vayetzer, he was afraid that he is going to kill someone else. And the question is, how come? There's halakha, there's a law, halakha lemaaseh, hakam lo orgecha, shkem lo orgo. He who comes to kill you, kill him first. There's halakha lemaaseh. Yaakov Avinu knew the Torah before it was given. So if he knew that, why was he afraid? Why would he be afraid that he's going to kill someone? Esav is standing over there and wants to kill him, and his children, and his wives. And mashal, a parable I'm going to give you right now. There was a king, and that king had a very special minister. That minister could see the future. He could likro ba'itzagonot. He could read the stars and make maps and could tell the king everything, what he should do. He advised him, and the king loved him. He kept him close to him. And you know what happens when you see that a very important person loves another person? You say all of the other ministers starting to get jealous. They were so jealous, so they came to the king and they slandered that minister, and they told him, listen, we know that he plans to overcome you and to lapil et haketer, and to take you off from your throne and to put another king over there. So he got very angry, and the way of slandering is Usually when people hear Lashon Hara, they don't go to Beit Din to ask, to that person that someone spoke about, to ask him if it's true or not. They accept it as a truth. So that's the biggest problem with slandering. So the king called him. And he came to the king, and the king said, listen, I have a question for you. And the king said, I would like to ask you, can you please tell me, when are you going to die? The king was telling the minister. He called him and he said, I would like to ask you, and please tell me, when are you going to die? The minister heard that. He already knew. He started sweating. He knew something is wrong. If he's asking that, something is very wrong. So he took his notebook and went out, looked at the stars, wrote for hours. He was writing, calculating, doing maps, everything. He came to the king with panim kodrot, with, sad face. And he says, listen, here you see all the calculations, you see the map, and I have to tell you, my day of death, when I'm going to pass away, is going to be exactly a day before the king passes away. Exactly the day before he passes away, he says. The king heard that. Wow. He didn't tell him anything. He didn't tell him the slander. He didn't know anything. The king was thinking. He decided immediately that not only he's going to keep that minister close to him, but he's going to keep him in a room next to him. And that everybody's going to see that this minister is going to be healthy and that he gets everything that he needs. That's what he said. He says, everything that he needs, I'm going to give him. Everything. And what is the explanation? And what is the explanation? You remember Rivka told him, Rivka advised him what to do and to go to get the blessings from his father. And then she told him, go to my brother, because I'm afraid that Esav is going to kill you. So it's written over there, it's here, it's written over there, Lama eshkol gam shnechem yom echad. Why shall I mourn? Thank you. Why shall I mourn both of you on the same day? And this is nevuah prophet that comes true. Nevuah shemagshima et atzma. So Yaakov remembered that, and he said, if I'm going to kill Esav, I will die on the same day. Because my mother said, why shall I warn both of you on the same day? And what really happened is when Yaakov Avinu passed away, listen very carefully. When Yaakov Avinu passed away, you know what happened? They took him to Ma'arat HaMachpelah, and Esav came and was having a fight with them. He didn't want him to be. He said, no, Ma'arat HaMachpelah is mine. But you remember I told you that at the end of this parasha, they signed a contract that he gets all the physical property in this world, and he gets Yaakov Avinu, Ma'arat HaMachpelah and Eretz Israel. But then Esav came, and he said, no, I deserve to be, I lived in the land of Israel, and I respected my father, I deserve to be buried over there. And what happened is, at the same day he died. Why? I'm going to speak about it when we get there, but at the same day, it's written, the Midrash says, that Dan had only one, Shevet Dan, the tribe of Dan. Dan, the son, had only one son. Hushim was his name, and he was deaf, he didn't hear anything, but he saw that everything was delayed and they couldn't put Yaakov Avinu in Ma'arat HaMachpelah and bury him. So he asked questions and nobody answered him, and he had the Midrash says he had a nail, a long nail. So he saw Esav that was quarreling, and the other Shvatim, the other tribes, thought of going back to Egypt to bring the scheme, the contract. He took his nail and took off the head of Esav. And that head rolled into Ma'arat HaMachpelah. So Esav died at the same day. You see, the mother said, Lama eshkol gam shnechem yom echad. It's like, that's why I always say, dear women, never curse yourself or your children or anyone else. Because it's like a nevuah shemagshima et atzma. It's like a prophecy that comes true when you say bad things. Because the angels, when you say bad thing about yourself, the angels say amen around you. And when you say good things about yourself, the angels also say amen around you. That's why it's good to say good things. Don't get angry. Try not, count to 10, read a parak of the chapter of Tehillim, or do something in order not to say, sometimes we even curse ourselves. Don't do that. It doesn't matter. Just open the Tehillim, read it. Okay. אני אספר לכם את היעלון. I'm going to tell you the story of the יעלון. I wanted to tell you a lot of things, אבל אני רואה שלא יגיע. הם היו חזקים, כל אחד יכול 10,000 איש להוציא. מה זה בשבילו סתם? הוא גם לא שמע, הוא לא הבין. כעס, ככה מספר המדרש. היה לו ציפורן ארוכה, חתיכה לו את הראש. והראש התגלגל לתוך מערת המכפלה. Dear women,
beheaded.
I told you that he was wrestling with the angel of Esav. I will finish with this, but my sister and Madeleine they tell me you have to tell the story. I know, yes, I have to. It says while he was wrestling with him, it seems to him, it says במסכת חולין, בגמרא מסכת חולין, דף צדיק א', it's written that once he seemed to him like a Oved Kochavim, like worshipping the person that worships another god, worships the stars, and then he seems to him like a Talmid Chacham, like a Talmid Chacham, a big scholar in Torah. המלאך של עשיו, the Samech Mem, the bad angel, while he was wrestling with him, because he was speaking with him while he was wrestling, and he saw that once he seems like a Oved Kochavim, the answers are like just a person who worships stars, and then some of the answers were like he was a Talmid Chacham. So he didn't know what to do, and the question is, how come Yetzer Hara speaks in two voices? Yetzer Hara comes, sometimes he comes to you straight. Then he's like Oved Avodah Zarah, like worshipping the stars, like worshipping another god. He comes to you straight, he tells you, don't do that mitzvah, don't do that, straight. And sometimes he gives you good reasons from the Torah and from Chachamim and from our sages not to do that mitzvah. Like a Talmid Chacham, he gives you good explanations, logical explanations from the Torah. So, I'm going to tell you a story. I'll finish with a story. There's a true story about Rabbi Shalom Shabazi, Alav Shalom Zchuto Tagen Aleinu. He was a big Yemenite rabbi in Yemen. And there's a story, he was a big Mekubal. And he was a big Mekubal. And, he Mekubal, Kabbalist. He was a big Mekubal. And people used to come to him, and he used to help them. And once, a poor, very, very poor person came to him. He was crying. He said, Rabbi, please, I need your help. He says, Mori, I need your help. He says, what happened? He says, I have to tell you, from the day I was born, God forbid not on any one of us. He says, from the day when I was born, I was a poor person. I didn't have anything, but this is my luck. From the day that I was born, nothing. Then I got married, I have 8 children, and I look at them, I don't have even food to put on the table. Everything I do, I work, I lose everything, like in between my fingers, everything goes away from me. I don't have a blessing, God forbid. I don't have a blessing, he says, nothing, and he cries and doesn't know what to do. So Rabbi Shalom Shabbos, Zchuto Tagen Aleinu, said, okay, I will open the book of Sefer HaGoral. It's the book of destiny. It's a special book, and he davened before you open it, and he asked him, "What's your name?" Ken, it's a real thing. So Ken, Sefer HaGoral. There's a real book. So it says. So he asks him, "What's your name?" So he says, "My name is Shimon ben Yaakov." He says, "No, I need your mother's name." He says, "Shimon ben Leah." So he takes his name, he takes the year that he was born, the month and the day, the hour. It's important. When he was born, he does the calculations, and after calculating, he says this. I'll give you the tzitut in Hebrew, and then I'll translate. It's written, Ein lecha mazal, shelo neda. He says, you don't have luck, he says. Klal uchlal, nothing, he says. It says, Bimei achol, he tells him, in the regular days, the weekly days, You don't have luck at all on the weekdays. Because any money that you're going to earn, you're going to lose, he says. You're not going to see any blessing from it. When do you have your luck? When does your luck shine? On Shabbat and holy days, Chagim, holidays. Only then your luck is shining. Then you can earn money. Then your luck is shining. The poor person was shocked, which means there's nothing to do. So the rabbi tells him, Lech shvot Shabbatcha, he says, Besimcha umin hashamayim yisarucha. He says, go and do your Shabbat, he says, keep your Shabbat, and from heaven they will help you, Hashem will help you. The poor person says, that's what he has to say, one sentence? Where are the miracles? He went back home, he told his wife, and he was crying, he said, I came to the rabbi, I thought I will see miracles. He will do hocus pocus and then miracles I'll have. That's how it works, he thought. And then he told me one sentence, and I went back. And his wife was a righteous woman. She said, you don't know how chachamim work, how righteous people work. Every word that they take out of their mouth is like mu'at shemechil merubeh, like little that has a lot inside, that contains a lot inside it. Have emunat chachamim, she says, have yirat shamayim, believe in Hashem, and have emunat chachamim, and believe in the chachamim, and bezrat Hashem, with God's help, everything will come right. So it comes Shabbat, that week comes Shabbat. He has only perurim, small, like pieces of bread. He does a kiddush on the pieces of bread, he doesn't have anything at home. Shabbat b'boker, Shabbat morning, he goes to the shul. All the time he thinks about his bad luck and that only on Shabbat his luck shines. So what shall he do? He says, what shall I do with myself? On the way while he's walking, he sees something shining. So he approaches it, he goes to it, and then, wow, it's a diamond, but a big diamond, and it shines. It's like, the rays of the sun goes, you can see it shining. He stands next to the diamond, and he says to himself, wow, what shall I do now? Shabbat. He says, it's a lot of money. And it's Shabbat, you're not allowed to touch it. He's on the way. It's Shabbat. One of the, so the bad spirit starts talking. I told you once the bad spirit is like Oved Kochavim, like worship stars, and once it's like a Talmid Chacham. Listen to the good explanations that the bad spirit gave him. So the bad spirit starts. The bad spirit tells him, you should pick it up. So what's happened to you? Are you a fool? Pick it up. The left side tells him, pick it up, you have to pick it up. What do you think? What are you thinking of? You're such a fool, you should pick it up. Your children are hungry, they don't have anything to eat. That's a big mitzvah. You're going, he who saves one soul is like he saved all the world. You're going to save 10 souls. You, your wife, and 8 children. So what a big mitzvah. You should pick up the stone and hold it in your hand. He tells him, hold it in your hand. So he says, if you won't do that, you're going over a mitzvah. Because there's a kipuach nefesh. Listen very carefully to what he tells him. Then the bad spirit continues. Then the bad spirit continues. But he says to the bad spirit, but it says, Shemor et yom ha-Shabbat lekodsho, you have to keep Shabbat. It's written in the Torah. You are not allowed to pick it up. Oh, the bad spirit says, the diamonds and gold is muktzeh, but it's muktzeh de Ramadan. You're not allowed to touch it. It's because of our sages, not because of the Oraita. It's not allowed because of the Torah. It's not allowed because of the Rabbanan, because it comes to the part of muktzeh. So he says, if you have to choose between the Oraita and the Rabbanan, you can choose the Oraita and not the Rabbanan. This is a special case because that's the Kipuach Nefesh, that's Atzalat Nefesh. Listen how the Yetzer Hara is a Talmid Chacham. It's Kipuach Nefesh, which means the Oraita gover, it's higher than the Rabbanan. But then he says to himself, but you know, if you don't listen to the sages, the Rabbanan, if you don't listen to them, it says that even if a small thing, you don't listen to them, you are considered dead. So כאילו חייב מיתה. You're חייב מיתה. So he says to himself, I'm not allowed to do that. He stands over there, he doesn't know what to do with himself. If he will go, another person will come along and maybe take it. Then he decides, Shmor et Yom HaShabbat lekotcho. HaKadosh Hashem gave me this stone, I'm going to keep the Shabbat. He goes to shul. He davens, and over there he fights with himself. Because, you know, his thoughts go back to the diamond. All the thoughts, how can he pray? But then he conquers. He conquers his bad spirit. And he tells to himself, no, I'm going to daven and I'm going to concentrate. And when he finishes, he passes again next to the stone. He sees the diamond. He sees the diamond over there. And he says, God, what shall I do? But then he decides, I'm going back home. He goes home and he goes to rest. He said, Shabbat, I have to rest. He can barely sleep, but he says, I'm going to Shabbat, Menucha b'Shabbat ta'anug. So he has to rest. He rests, then he goes to Mincha again next to stone. Nobody took it yet. It's in the same. No, the diamond is still there.
He can see.
It's still there.
Only he can see.
It's still there. So he goes to the shul and he has Mincha. And then, you know, he has to do Arvit. And, you know, after Arvit, he waits for Havdalah. And then they sing and bless. On that day, everything. So he has everything, and he has to do, and he has to stay. And he tells himself, maybe I'll do Arvit quickly, I'm me myself, I won't wait for the rabbi. I'll do the Havdalah on my own, and run back home to take the stone. He said, no, I won't change my ways. I will stay, I will daven, and I will do everything I need. And then after doing what he needed, he went back. And he saw the diamond over there. No one touched the diamond. He picked the diamond and he was crying. And he said, wow, you beautiful diamond, he said to himself. Wow, what a beautiful light you have in you. But you know, Diamond, I'll have to sell you because I need the money. So I don't have enough time to look at you. I won't have to enjoy just looking at you because I need the money. So he was running to Harav Sharav, Zchutot again, and then he was running to the rabbi. And the rabbi was shouting, he was waiting for him, and he said, Mazal Tov, he said. Because the rabbi blessed him, he knew what the blessing was. Even though it was only a few words. He says, Mazal Tov, he says. You see, you kept Shabbat, you conquered your bad spirit, and Hashem helped you conquer your bad luck. And now you're going to have good luck, you're going to be very wealthy. And he said, don't forget all the other people, the poor people, how you felt as a poor people, and open your hand and be righteous, and give tzedakah, plenty of tzedakah to other people. Dear women, I would like to wish you...
זה ריגו פארק, שם זה היה כפר קטן. לא הרבה אנשים...
Dear women, I would like to finish by telling you דבר הלכה יחיד ברבים הלכה כרבים שיגיע משיח תקנו מדרם ממנו אמן אליהו הנביא זכור לטוב. I would like to wish each and every one of you גאולה פרטית לטובה וגאולה כללית עלינו ועל כל בית ישראל. Thank you very much.